extent, in this case, and Ashraf would not have been such an important issue in the EU. In Poland, in my country which loves freedom, like in many other EU member states, a majority of members of parliament signed a declaration in support of Ashraf. Ladies and gentlemen, despite all the efforts and achievements, we are still worried because the root of this problem lies in Tehran, which has drawn the Iraqi government to hostile acts towards Ashraf. The Iraqi government must understand that they have to choose between respecting international commitments and friendship and cooperation with Europe on one hand, or friendship with the mullahs and isolation by international community on the other hand. I wish to use this opportunity to express my strong, full support personally for Madame Rajavi and my brothers and sisters in Ashraf. Thank you.
I'm very proud to present General James Conway today. He is the 34th Commandant of the United States Marine Corps who has served in Iraq.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm honored to be a part of this distinguished panel. I'm honored to be in your presence today. I think as one of two military men on the panel, I would like to depart from the discussion thus far by the panel members that centers on the people of Camp Ashraf and talk more strategically about the objective, at least initially, of the MEK. As a word on my background to be able to do so, when I was a three-star general, I was Chief Operations Officer for all of the U.S. military. In my last job as a Commandant of the Marine Corps, I was also one of 6 advisors to both President Bush in his last years and the early years of President Obama. Ladies and gentlemen, I offer to you as a result of that, I think, what is a sobering assessment today. The greatest threat that I think we face on this planet is not global warming. It's not the global meltdown of our fiscal responsibilities. It is not a burgeoning China in the Pacific. The greatest threat that we face is a nuclear Iran. Having seen the ugly face of war, I appreciate the gravity of my statements, but I will tell you it's my belief at the pace of developments that we see today in Iran, that within a short 24 months, there will be a major confrontation between the United States and perhaps some of our Western allies and the nation of Iran. Unless one or both nations change its policy, I think that confrontation is absolutely inevitable. Now, our nations have not gotten along for 30 years. The agitation and the things that we have seen out there, I think, speak to that lack of coherence, going all the way back to the hostages of the Carter and Reagan years, but certainly through the terrorist attacks that have been talked about by Madame Rajavi, the miscalculations that both nations experienced during the tanker war, Iran's involvement in both Iraq and in Afghanistan. In June, based upon quality weapons coming into Iraq, the United States lost, we think, 13 soldiers to those weapon systems. Economically, we have been spatting with each other. We place sanctions on them. Iran desires within the OPEC to keep the cost of oil unnaturally high in order to be able to effect our recovery. And of course, most recently it has been talked about the terrorist plot to kill the Saudi ambassador on United States soil and the collateral damage that could occur in that restaurant, numbering in the tens and perhaps the hundreds of Americans.